Guys, welcome back to another episode of Ike MMA podcast. I'm in studio with Cage Warriors winner King Solomon Simon. Is it King Solomon Simon? Is it the correct way of saying it, or is it more than one way you can say it?
Yeah, so like my actual name is like Solomon Eze Simon. And like Eze is king in Igbo. So that like
Yes.
my dad gave me the Eze. So what I did, I just changed it to English. So that's actually just it's Solomon King being the middle name or Eze Simon. So Solomon King Simon.
Solomon King Simon. I'll remember that for next time, definitely.
Ah no,
I
all good,
will
all
do.
good.
Look, you're just coming off the back of a massive event, Cage Warriors 170, the rare and naked chokehold with your opponent. His name Leon or Lucan Mackenzie.
Yeah, I was lost with like because I was pronouncing it Ian Mackenzie, but then like in the fight, I think the commentators were saying Leon or something, but I'm not too sure. I thought it was Ian Mackenzie, but look, it's all good.
How are you feeling
I'll
after
go.
that? No, finish, please. Finish.
No, I say I'll go with Ian Mackenzie because that's what I've been using throughout camp, so I'm gonna stick to that. But
Okay.
yeah,
Me too.
I feel I feel good. Like nothing crazy. Like just calming down at the week, just been off a little bit, like not much injuries or anything, like no injuries really. Like my elbows was quite sore, but like it's healing up now and like gonna get back training next week. I get back training tomorrow even, but get back proper training next week and just get ready for the next one kind of thing.
I was gonna ask you, from that, I mean, but your opponent whilst you're in the octagon in the cage and in the lead up to fight night, fight day, what did you make of your opponent? As in, did you study his past fights, analyze what to just anticipate once you're stepping into the octagon with him? So, what did you make of him overall? How are you gonna go about attacking and defeating him?
Yeah, like I looked at him a good bit leading up to the fight, and like I would do that with a lot of my opponents anyway. Like I knew he was fairly solid on the grappling front. Like that was the main threat that I was expecting with him. Like because he has quite a good bit of submission wins. Like I think he has 9 submission wins altogether, or something between Ami and the pro side of things. And coming into the fight, he was on a 3 fight like finishing. So he finished his last 3 opponents. So overall, it was good. But like the grappling was the main threat that I was trying to be aware of. Like and it was grand. Like during the fight night itself, I was prepared on the grappling front, striking front, and whatever it is. Because like I'm not limiting myself in any way. So I'm trying to cover myself on all bases as much as possible. So yeah, like in there though, like I was actually fairly impressed with his striking. Like he adjusted really well to a lot of things. It was a good bit faster than I expected. His defense was sharper in some cases. Like he adjusted well to some of the things I was trying to do. So like it was quite good. Like overall I'm happy. Like I don't feel uh how could I put it? I felt like what I was prepared for in my head was similar to what I got. Obviously, it was better, but I'm always expecting that. It's not like I don't the like my this current version of me the next time I go in there is gonna be completely different again. So like I expect that from my opponents for the foreseeable future, really. I'm gonna expect whoever shows up in there will be 10 times better than the image I have in my head. So I'll prepare for that accordingly.
Did you feel because Cage Warriors, of course, is the one of the if not one of it's the biggest mixed martial arts promoter here in the UK, and are fighting on their fight card on their platform. Did you feel there was any added pressure to perform in the perform in that fight that you really got to make a name for yourself so that fight fans and even the people running the show, the the Dana Whites of the Cage Warriors, that they remember who he won, that this kid's got talent and he's someone who we should should not, as the Americans say, we shouldn't sleep on his name.
Yeah, yeah. Not like pressure, definitely not. Like I think it's just I've on the from the army side of things, like I've been fighting for a good while now. So like gone abroad to like with the IMF, I've gone to uh I've been abroad a few times just to compete for like Ireland and things, and then also we've got fought on Cage Warriors like a couple of times now. Where like on a big enough stage, all of that. Like it's just to me a lot of the fights just seems to be another day in the office, if you know what I mean, in the sense of like I see where the pressure can come from, but like I just make myself aware of it and like try not to let it press me as much. But once it gets to the point of like they're calling me out to come fight, like all I'm focusing on is getting to that cage and doing my job in that sense. Like it's not in, like that's what we do. Like that's what we're here to do. Like I'm here to like perform in front of the crowd. Like so I can't let the external factors get a hold of me because then I won't be able to do my job. Like so, yeah, it's been getting better. The experience over the last few years has definitely helped, but like therefore don't feel crazy amount of pressure on it. Not like it's not there, like it's obviously there. It's still a big stage, but I'm just a lot better at controlling it as time gone on.
I'm I'm speaking to you for the first time. What is, as in your background and how you got into the sports itself? What kind of enticed you, got you interested in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, like my brother and cousin at the time they were doing it. Like they started just back in Waterford. We had like old gym. Oh well, it's similar gym, but it's like called Waterford MMA at the time. Like they were doing it. He would come back home, like just practicing stuff for me and things. And I would just went to the gym one day just before I started college, and I was like willing to try it. Just wanted to give it a go. Like and was competing with him as well. I was like, I want to compete quicker than he did, and like just the older brother kind of shit. But it's all good. Like started then, went to college, did uh this was around like I was 19, 20 at the time, and just started training with DCU MMA was what the gym was called at that time. Did 4 years there while I was in college. Moved back to Waterford then, and I've been with my current team now, Team Ryano Waterford. Like ever since I'm my coach. Now actually my two coaches now, like in Waterford, like Guy Wallace and Bobby Mead, like they were actually my brother's coaches, like back when he started as well. So it's sort of like a continuation. But yeah, that's roughly what the background is. There's a bit more where like I did kickboxing for a little bit as well in between while I was injured and like a bit of boxing as well. But that's roughly the timeline.
With the kind of, I mean, your fight record for professional side of things, anyways, for no, that's starting off really, really strongly in your career as a proper. Um, well, the sort of team that you're fighting out, so in your gym, can you talk a bit more about that? Because obviously, so far since turning pro, you've done really, really well. So I mean, obviously, there must be really good people, really good coaches, corner people, nutritionists, family and friends behind you and around you who are really helping you stay focused and always keeping your eye on the prize.
Yeah, for sure. Like the team, massive part of the success that like I had now and like the success we're getting overall now. Like Tim Rhino as a family in general. Like just going with the team in Waterford because I'll go with the team in Waterford first because I'll like talk a bit about head office as well. Like because I'm up in HQ a good bit as well. But in Waterford, that's like where like all my amateur career was all from there. And like with my head coach Bobby Mead, like he's been with me like through like a lot of ups and then just during the army days, like just like the skills has been there. We've been building the skills, been training. If it's pads, just the stand, like just training, like learning new skills over time. But it's more of like the translating what you're doing in the gym into the cage. That's a difficult enough process. And I, for me anyway, I think it's just some people like maybe it just clicks and it's going in there. But the translation I want to do in there, I don't want to go in there to just fight for just fighting sake. I want to be able to do exactly what I want to do at the right time. Just things like that. And like that process took a while, and having Bobby beside me throughout the time, like there's times whereby like I would just be down with things, and it would be like just putting words of encouragement through, and then over time we've just been building that relationship, and like we're where we are now, and it's been good. I think it's a long process that got us here, but we got here eventually. And then I'm also like training in Dublin, in HQ as well, like the head office, and we have the coaches up there as well, which Andy Ryan, the head coach, and we have Reds there as well, Paul Redmond. Like he was on there commentating on the fight night as well, actually, but he's the Nogi coach. And then we have Bill McCann, the wrestling coach. Neil Siri as well. Like just overall, like the team is fairly big, and like we're uh unit. Like do you know what I mean? And that's not even speaking of like my teammates yet as well, because I can start ratting off on that front as well. Like it's just I feel like we're a family, which makes a massive difference because then like every obstacle or challenge I have someone to go to that I know as my best interest that I have to look in whatever way it is. So like teammates in Waterford, solid crew. Like just with HQ, we have James that just got their welterweight belt just the weekend gone. We have Jay Harris up there as well. Jamie as well just made his pro debut. But on the back front as well, there's still Lois, there's Paddy, there's Fennon. There's like a good few crew there as well. That's just in Dublin. And then in Waterford as well, I have like Kevin, my brother Sam, we have David, we have Ninja on NSC. He's been with us like since he was like 13. So like there's just it's a massive, massive team. Like and I'm very proud to be among them because like I it's not just a standard like gym in the same way. I just feel like it's a family. And like that sounds like a cliche, but it really makes a big difference because now when you're training, you don't feel like anyone is trying to hurt you or like compete with you and try to get better than you or whatever. It's all like we're trying to make each other better, which then makes it a lot easier when we go out to compete. We compete as a team then as well. That's a long rant, but you can ask whatever question in between there.
No, it may have been long, but at least you know it's detailed, and that's what I like. I'm sure that's what many people will like. So getting more information about you as a person and as a fighter. But extending from that, I mean, again, with the kind of success that you achieved in your in the professional side of your career, I mean, your gym, are there any other names who or talents that we should be watching out for that could be kind of like joining you in Cage Warriors?
On the amateur, like so Waterford wise, like I'll be the only pro in Waterford at the moment. But the amateur scene, like as in the our amateur fighters coming up, like we have obviously, like I said, like my brother's there, Sam Simon. There's Kevin Kyo, like he's a very interesting guy that would be like I would like to see how things go. Like, but again, not rushing any of them, like because it's a long process, and I expect them to take just as long as I took. Maybe it will be quicker. I see it being quicker, but definitely not in a rush of being like, oh, like let's go and catch words, let's go do this because it's not easy to get to this point. But like Owen Hennessy is another kid, like we call him Ninja, but he's been there since he was like 12, 13, probably even younger than that. And like you can see the growth in him coming up. But like so on the Waterford side of things, like a lot of us is still amateur, so it's grand, like but it's building off slowly. In HQ, like you could see the names coming up now, and the likes of Jamie making his he made his pro debut there just this weekend. Lois Byrne is making his pro debut soon, so that's someone else we'll be looking out for. And then obviously we have the stables already with James at the head of the pack there, like winning the welterweight title. You have Jay Harris as well. Like you would have heard of him anyway. Like he's done big things in Cage Warriors now already, and like expecting big things from him in the future as well. Like and then like Senan as well, like beautiful, beautiful striker. Like he's a very there's there's a crew there, and then there's even Yogi, which is like he's 17 or something, but I think he's 16, but he's a full grown like animal. It's a big boy. Like but yeah, sorry. There's a lot of people there, and like on the Waterford side again, like saying still amateur, but on the pro in HQ, like there's a few like people coming in on the pro side. The ones that haven't turned pro now, I would probably say in the next little bit would be Lois, and then Paddy is up. I think Paddy is traveling, but Lois would be the next one. I would say making his pro debut soon, which would be another interesting person to look out for. But overall, we're all there.
You know, when you turned from amateur, when you transitioned to professional fighter, did you feel that maybe there was a need to kind of change things in how you prepared for a fight, how you were sparring, just your overall corner? Did you feel that you need to make some adjustments at all?
Yeah, like not necessarily. Like I felt like because again, been training. I've been traveling from Waterford. I've been traveling up to Dublin to HQ a bit to train with the pros as well, just to like. And this was in the army, back in the army days as well. So like I was nearly used to that body, to the bone, to the intensity. I suppose the longer rounds. Like the things that changed then would have been like the knees to the head and then the elbows, and that's just a skill to develop. That's just a skill to develop. It's not something crazy that like I need a mad drastic change to be able to achieve. Training wise, I'm still training like as hard as I would, like preparing for a fight as best as I could all the time. So like nothing dramatically changed. I felt like it even suited me a bit better with the longer rounds because I could have a better time of like expressing myself in there without having to rush on 3 minutes. Because it's the same with nearly all the fights, like in the amateur side of things, like a few minutes into the fight, once I start getting comfortable, it just goes straight up against the fence. A few minutes is gone, and like most of the fight is over in the amateur side of things. But on the pro side, like I could take my time a bit more, and like the time doesn't go as quickly. So I would nearly say it actually helped me a bit more, but like I didn't change anything drastically. I just upped the intensity a bit more, like, and then started practicing the new tool set that I have, the new weapons that I have.
For you as a fighter, as a unique person, what does a fight camp for you usually, what's it usually like? Because for you, um, how do you go about preparing for an upcoming bouts, as in your nutrition, just the sparring? How would you go about that?
It's getting better over time. Like right now, I think what changes, okay, like now, so I'm back training. Like fight was last week. This week, been chilling a bit. I'll be back training again next week. Like I'm just back to normal again. And it's standard like Monday to Saturday, really like a day off maybe in between there. But that's the rough schedule. And I'm just training away, like developing the skills, practicing the skills, adding new skills in, and then just keep doing that. So now when a fight comes up along, like it's still the same structure. Nothing's changing drastically. The difference now, the intensity is just a lot higher. Like so now it's a bit more like fight simulating rounds or Shark Tank rounds just to get the cardio up a bit more, just to put myself under a bit more pressure. But like that would be the main difference. Nutrition wise and strength and condition. Like I have Ian Keown, he's my strength and conditioning coach now. Been worked with him for the last couple of fights, but like this time he was on board fully for like on the nutrition side and on the like strength and conditioning and everything. So that's a new addition, and I'm interested to see because I'm going to be working with him off camp as well. So I'd like to see how that changes things over the year. But so yeah, the food themselves, I get the macros from him, and then I just make the food batch cook for the week with my fiance, and then like sort that part out. Training wise, nothing drastic change. The intensity goes up during camp, but I'm still trying to train consistently as much as I can because there's there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to develop. So there's no real time for me to be chill and then when I have a fight, then I start training. So it's like trying to keep it as consistent as possible, and it just the intensity goes up during camp. That's just the real difference.
So for you, you want to be fight ready all the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically it. Because like especially at this stage of my career, like your fight could come up at any point, like, and like you need to take the opportunities as you see them, because like they can be far in between, or like, and one mishap could like mess up the trajectory of where you're trying to go. So I just want to be as prepared as I can all the time.
I'll try to thought here. I mean, so I just the next question I want to ask you just slipped out of my mind. Um, yes, one of the aspects of the fight camp, which I know that fighters hate more than anything, is weight cutting. Um, the current weight you are at now, I mean, if they asked you to probably cut weight to even probably something even more drastic and lower, would you do so? I mean, is there any other weight classes that you'd like to compete in?
Yeah. So I'm at featherweight now, and like definitely not going lower than that. That's the lowest I'm going to go. Like and like in the amateur side of things, I did lightweight, 155 or 70 kgs, just because like I didn't want to cut weight. Like wow, I'm not getting paid and stressing myself for no reason, for no real reason. I think I went to featherweight once for a title fight, but like in the amateur side of things, but most of the time I just don't see myself cutting that much weight. 66 is perfect. And like I think I'm getting better at it. The last two camps, like I've been like, even though I felt like this is a big weight, but like the weight comes off fairly handy and I'm not too stressed on it. So like I'll take it. 66 is my weight class for a good while now. Like try get the title in that way, move through like most of my career in that way. And then maybe if anything, I might go up in weight, but I definitely won't be going any lower than that.
Future plans. You're already on the biggest mixed martial arts promoter in here in the UK. They've got a good global reach as well. But I mean, beyond Cage Warriors, are there any other names you'd like to compete in? Cage Warriors, I'm sure you'll know, of course. Here in the UK, it's almost like a stepping stone for many fighters to go from from Cage Warriors from there to go to the UFC. I'm sure in Ireland it's probably very similar as well. But for yourself, as in beyond Cage Warriors, are there any other big promoters you like to compete in?
Yeah, like the vision, like those options before Cage Warriors, and like the vision for Cage Warriors is like solidify myself as one of the best featherweights in Europe. That puts me on a good trajectory towards like the UFC, which is where the end goal, well, the beginning of the end goal is. Like so that's the path I want to go on. Like that's the long-term vision, get to the UFC, freaking get the belt in the UFC, do like just solidify myself as one of the best to do it. Well, that's a vision. That's like something that it's a path whereby I know where I'm trying to aim for. So now what I'm doing is like building my skill set, building my experience, like uh everything I need to do to achieve that goal. That's what I'm gonna do. But I can only do that one step at a time in this moment, and that's what I'm doing now. So yeah, long term UFC, like current term, near term, try to get that Cage Warriors belt. Tomorrow, get back to training. That's sort of how it goes. All of that still leads me to where I need to get to. But if I don't do what I need to do today and tomorrow, what I'm trying to do 5 years' time is not going to happen.
I was going to ask this kind of with bated breath. You grew up in Ireland, but you're of Nigerian descent.
Okay.
Now, when you are competing, which, as in, which of the two countries do you feel more affinity to represent when you're in the cage when you're competing?
Yeah. Like it's a difficult one because I think so born in Nigeria, like moved to Ireland when I was 12, really. So like I had a good bit of a childhood in Nigeria, and then like came to Ireland, and a lot of what I know now, like a lot of my quirks or experiences are made like from Ireland, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like the even the fighting and everything that I knew how to do, I learned all of that here. So like going into Cage, I am like it. I think even I told Cage Warriors they asked me that before, and I told them to put both. I don't want to choose in between, like because both of them are part of me. They're like what what got me to this point that I am now. So I don't see why I have to negate one in preference for the other. So like cage warriors were uh fairly nice enough, I would say, would be what it is. But like I have the two flags there. And I'm just trying to like represent both as best as I can. I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm choosing this, but like I'm fighting out of Waterford Island. Like that's where I'm fighting out of. I'm not like fighting out of like Ibadan, Nigeria, because that's just silly. But like I am Nigerian born and like Irish as well. So whatever way we want to phrase that, we're gonna put that there. But those two identities are a part of me. So I'm going to own that as much as possible and hold on to that as much as possible and like reflect that in my performances as much as possible. Like they're both me. Like I'm not one or the other.
I know you've recently just had a fight, but has the next fight date been arranged yet, or is that in the works?
So I don't know what the rest of the year is scheduled. I think schedule is still. I think they have the schedule now up until May. Like they have a card in Newcastle in May where I think they Ari is fighting for the featherweight title, so I'll be looking at that, see what the featherweight division is looking like. But like, I don't know what the rest of the schedule for the year is yet. Like, I don't have anything up until May anyway. And then, I have a kid on the way, so like,
Yes, yeah.
I have what's it called? Like, I'll say the next couple of months will be more like prepping for that and building, like, just dealing with your newborn phase and all that kind of things. And then ideally, I would like to get two more fights by the end of the year. So I'll look at what the schedule is when it comes out, and as soon as I know that, then I could plan accordingly. But ideally, I still want to fight before the year is out. So if I could get it, maybe like September, November, or maybe October, December, or something like that. But at least the second half of the year, if I could get two fights in, that's a perfect year then.
Congratulations on the let's assume that you're going to be becoming a father. That's awesome
Yeah,
news. Very happy for you.
thank you very
Uh,
much.
Last but no means least, any shout outs you want to give out to anyone, family, friends, coaches, affiliates?
Yeah, thanks again just to the team, because again, they're the one that brought us to where we are now. Like Tim Ryano, like the coaching in HQ, we have Andy Redzer, Bill McCann, the wrestling coach. I have Neil Siri there as well. Even like the teammates as well, James, Graham, Louis, Paddy, Jer, Shannon, Jamie, like they all crew up in HQ. And then in Waterford as well, like shout out to like my head coach, Bobby Mead, Gary Wallace, like Tomas as well, like Arrow, Kevin. Like there's a big crew there. Even Richie as well. Richie was another person that just helped a lot with the mindset kind of thing. But like I could, there's a big team there. Like again, I mentioned a lot of the teammates already in Watford, like Kevin, Sam, OP, David, Ninja, and Zav as well. Like a few there. Shout out again to like my fiance, like very very proud to have her in my life because she helps me a lot with a lot of things and just keeps me grounded when needed. Helps me when my head is going crazy. Like I have someone there to have a chat with. Like that forever will be grateful for her. And just the sponsors, like standard, just slow and steady oats. We have Elite Recovery, Joe's Barber, Emiliano's, Elite Picks, Incheon Coaching. Like yeah, just a few people. But thanks to everybody. Like I think whoever I didn't mention, they know who they are and like how they everyone that has helped me to get to the point I am now, and everyone that's gonna continue to help me to get to where I'm gonna get to. Appreciate the support, like my friends and family for coming through the fights and just support me in the crowd. Like I feel their energy while I'm in there, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking all night if you want me to start naming everybody.
No, well, I would love you to, but I know that I did catch you at kind of a tight time schedule, so I won't keep you too long. But please, if you can, send me all the names of the people you'd like me to tag, and I'll to make sure I mention them all the posts from when promoting the episode. Guys, if
100%,
you
yeah.
Guys, if you did enjoy the episode, if you did watch the very end on YouTube, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the podcast grow when you do that. And don't forget that you can also catch the audio versions of the episode on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify, please leave a rating. It also helps the podcast as well. Simon, Eze. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.